श्री पंचतत्व भगवान की जय। रजपुर जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रमयी की जय। नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So we move on to the next part of this morning's Japayagna program, the Bhagavatam class. Before that, a very short kirtan. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjan Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Ananta Dev Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Ananta Dev Sai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Sai Gaura Hari Bol जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन गुरुदेव की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Canto 1, Chapter 7, titled The Son of Drona Punished. We're reading from the 5th verse today. Can someone repeat after me? They're free?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, one of you, Mataji. Yaya sammohita jiva.
Yaya sammohito jiva.
Atmanam trigunatmakam.
Atmanam trigunatmakam.
Paro api manate anartam.
Paropi
manate anartam.
Paropi manute anartham.
Tat kritam cha.
Tatkritam cha.
Apipadyate.
Abhipadyate.
Yaya sammohita jiva.
Yaya sammohito jiva.
Atmanam trigunatmakam.
Atmanam trigunatmakam.
Paro api manate anartam.
Paro api manute anartham.
Tatkritam cha abhipadyate.
Tatkritam cha abhipadyate.
Thank you, Mataji. Word to word meaning. Yaya, by whom? Sammohita, illusion. Jiva, the living entities. Atmanam, self. Trigunatmakam, conditioned by three modes of nature or a product of matter. Para, transcendental. Api, in spite of munate, takes it for granted. Anartham, things not wanted. Tad, by that. Kritam cha, reaction. Abhipadyate, undergoes thereof. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reaction of material miseries. Due to the external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to three modes of material, thinks himself as material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. The purport is a very, very long one, big, wonderful purport. We will probably try to cover as much as possible during the sharing which I have to do. Before I start anything, let me invoke prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Nananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmritamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Panobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapata Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yayo sammohita jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paro api munate anartam tatkritam cha abhipadyate. Hare Krishna. Again, I request everybody to put a pause to the chanting which you all have and just focus for the next few minutes on some sharing from these points. Okay, so we all know that Narada Muni's these verses firstly are very, very important verses, as this forms the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam. We've been hearing nicely from Varakripa Das, and our leader also explained the last words. Today we will get into very nice aspect. Okay, so we all know, I've heard from Radhesham Prabhu that His Grace Radhesham Prabhu that Narada Muni gave these three instructions to Srila Vyasadeva. What happens? Situate yourself in Samadhi, practice Bhakti Yoga, not Karma Jnana, and whatever you observe, you write it just like that. Whatever you observe, you write just without any contamination. So Vyasadeva is following these instructions. He's in Samadhi, he saw the Supreme Lord. He came to know from the last verse, whom did he say? Purna Purushottama Bhagavan. Okay, what does it mean? It included all incarnations, all expansions. This is how our acharyas describe it. And he also saw Maya, the external energy. And he also saw the internal energy, all, because it was all Purna Purushottama Bhagavan, all included. Okay, so that's why a very, very nice description throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. He's not only described Krishna, his devotees is also described about creation, material energy, right? Before, from 1 to 9, right? If you see, Vyasadeva is focused a lot on material energy. That is what, because we have to understand what it is, and only then we will appreciate Krishna. So what is he doing now? He's doing a diagnosis. Diagnosis of whom? Diagnosis of our conditioned jiva. And not only the diagnosis, he finds a remedy to be found out, right? Because if you ask why is the diagnosis, we need to know what the problem first. Only then solutions can be given. The moment we go to a doctor, first he asks you a set of few questions, he examines you, he finds out everything, then only gives you the solutions or the medicines. So therefore, Vyasdeva was trying to diagnose what the problem is, okay, which affects this conditioned soul. So in this verse, only the diagnosis is there. So very rightfully, our leader Mathurapati Prabhu will give us the solution in the next verse. Okay. So here the first line itself starts with Yaya Samhohita Jiva. Okay. So Samhohita, that means the function of external energy is described just to bewilder. In fact, Samhohita means itself completely bewilder the jiva, the conditioned soul. As it's a, why is it doing? Because that's a function of the external energy, right? We can we can understand, the function of external, internal energy, all that. Wonderful example I heard about the sun, the sun, the example of the sun, sunlight and clouds. So sunlight is an internal energy, right? So it cannot be separated from Krishna. So the clouds are also energy of the sun. Because of the sun rays, actually, you can see because of the sun rays only, right? The water gets evaporated and it's formed, it's created, but it's separated from Krishna. It has a potency, it can cover our vision, right? Some way, this external energy can cover our vision. Krishna not visible to us. We cannot understand Krishna, right? So we will see a few important points which can be covered in this verse. It's a very long one. We'll try to cover the most important ones, right? So the first line itself, Prabhupada states, the root cause of suffering by materialistic living is pointed out in this, with the remedial measure which are to be undertaken, and also ultimately undertaken, and also the ultimate perfection to be gained. So he mentions the root cause, illusion, that is by Maya. But see, Maya also is fully aware that the Lord doesn't desire the living entities to be illusion, right? Still accepts the job. That's why Prabhupada, I really like when he says he accepts a thankless job of keeping the forgotten soul under illusion by a bewildering influence. So Maya is aware, but he still accepts this job. So how a father analogy can be used, right? All the time he's aware, whenever the child wants to, do something which he doesn't like, he still kind of allows him, just to discipline, and then make some correction just to discipline him. The same way our Supreme Father also, right, loves so much that sometimes he comes in form of the Bhagavad Gita, and we are lucky that he came in a Guhya avatar. Not only if we haven't understood the Bhagavad Gita and assimilated all that, he said, okay, let me come in again and show us how to be a devotee, right? And of course, he's told us that this Maya will not, how if you surrender, you can be out of this clutches of entanglement of Maya. Not only that, Prabhupada also refutes impersonalism, right? The very fact that it says, para api manate, para, the jiva is para, which means he's transcendental, right? Which means jiva exists even in the transcendental stage, beyond the material world, okay? So there is this theory that we merge into the transcendental Brahman. It is refuted here completely, because jiva is para. Is used para api manyate anartham. So, but which means to say the Lord, very important point, the Lord is not under the control of external energy. The external energy is under the control of Supreme Lord. This is, see, it's explained even in the last verse we heard, right? Maya cha tad aparasrasyam, which means here Prabhupada gives under full control or subordinate to Krishna, right? So this factor is very nice. It's explained in Srila Prabhupada's purport also, that towards the end he says, both Supreme Personality of God and the living beings are undoubted qualitatively one, but the Lord is the controller of the illusionary energy, whereas the living entity is controlled by the illusion energy. Thus, the Lord and the living being is simultaneously one and different. So, this refutes directly the Mayavad philosophy. As they claim, the Lord is, when he comes down, he's covered by illusion. But we all have read in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chave Divyam. So it is actually everything which the Lord does is Divyam. So, so one other point we can see here. Someone's mic is open. So, yeah. So another point, we'll see what are the other two or three points we can cover here. How does the jiva get entangled, first of all, in the external energy, right? We know that jivere swarupa hoy krishnere nityadas. Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that, right? So we also learned jiva is para, that is jiva is transcendental. So when they have a desire to enjoy separately from Krishna, okay, as soon as he thinks he wants to enjoy separately, Maya catches him. Okay, now let's see what is the functions of Maya, right? First and foremost, it covers the knowledge of the spirit soul. Okay, as soon as he knows that he's a part and parcel of Krishna, and the constitutional position of is to love and serve Krishna, right? Unless this is covered, he cannot be enjoying independent of Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita very clearly says Maya Paharta Jnanam, right? And in the 7th chapter, also we have learned very early in the third chapter itself that Kama Rupena Kaunteya, that is lust covers the knowledge of Jiva, right? So one is, the function is that it covers the spirit, and second one is it throws Jiva into the material world. It's full of sense objects, what do we sing? The first sloka we all learn in ISKCON, Prasada song, right? Jive Fele Vishe Sagare. That is thrown in the Vishe Sagara, right? And what do we say? Jodendriya Taheka, right? Maya gives us so many options into the Jiva to enjoy independent of Krishna. Whatever you take eating, you take drinking, whatever music, whatever you want to have, enjoyment, all that is thrown into the Jivatmas, and everything has got different modes depending on what objects the Jiva chooses to enjoy. Immediately the modes influences, and Jiva affects the modes take control, and then Jiva is under the influence, right? So this modes, just its gunas or three modes, right, keep on mixing in different combinations. Guna also means rope. So these ropes keep pulling Jiva in all directions, and in order to enjoy, Jiva continues and he thinks he is enjoying it, right? Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani vibhagasa kartaham iti manyate. There also he says he thinks he is doing. Actually, it is just the three modes of material nature which is doing, right? So this is how Jiva gets entangled. He gets in 13th chapter also, Lord explains very nicely that because of the association of modes, he gets entangled, and what yonisa, that is, he gets further caught in all these 84 lakh species, right? So I was hearing a very wonderful story there, just to understand this, modes of material nature for in simple words. So there is a hunter, right? Hunter wanted to catch a monkey. So he just kept a bottle there. And obviously, the mouth of the bottle is very small. Inside, there is this big enough to keep a banana. And you all know monkeys love banana, right? So the mouth is small. So what does it do? Obviously, when you put in your hand, the kind of, you cannot lift it. The mouth, it's so small, it gets stuck. So the monkey comes. What can a monkey do? It's got two options, right? It puts inside, you cannot take it out. Okay. So if you have to get out, you have to just let go of the banana and go out, or take it and enjoy the banana. So, but you all know the hunter's intention is, while it's trying to take it out, he's going to come and catch it, right? He's not going to allow the monkey to eat the banana. So what should the monkey do? Leave the banana, run away? Okay, this doesn't happen, right? The monkey stays there and tries to take the banana. So what do we infer kind of in this entire thing? Who's the hunter? Maya is the hunter. Who, obviously, banana is the sense object. And who you think the monkey is? Yours truly. So it's we who are trying to hold on to the banana and never release it, holding on to Maya, right? The sense objects. We just don't. And every time we pray, we keep saying to Maharajas, whenever they come, please help me overcome Maya. I never forget this. I keep saying it in all possible places. Our dear, who's no longer with us, sannyasi disciple of our Gurudev, His Holiness Nityananda Maharaj. When we were serving him and we asked him, please help us to overcome Maya, the first thing he's saying, who's holding Maya? Maya is holding you or you are holding Maya? So then when we all accept that we are holding to Maya, then what should I pray for you? Or what do you want me to do? So very beautifully used to say that to us. And we feel so stupid in front of him at that time. So it's like we need to know who's the monkey there, right? This is why that analogy was shared. In fact, once somebody argued with Srila Prabhupada, why is Krishna cruel? Can you imagine he used this word? Why does he give us Maya? She gives us so much trouble. Okay, Srila Prabhupada explained that some even I heard in one or two lectures, Prabhupada gave his own example, but this is what in this point he said, when the child is disobedient, remember I said the child wants to put say for example, hand in the fan. So the father, despite telling him not to do, what does he do? No, I want to. So just to teach a small lesson, what does a father do? Probably switches on the fan in a very small speed. And the moment he gets hit, he gets hurt, right? So immediately understands. So the same way, sometimes Jiva is put under Maya, who controls just for reformation, okay, to make him understand that this is not the way to enjoy. Okay, this is not the way. This is not your constitutional position. You go back. You please understand your constitutional position is just to love and serve the Lord, right? So this option is and this kind of chance is given. Reformation is given. In fact, Radhanath Swami Maharaj says this wonderful example. Whenever you go to gym, the weights are much against us, right? But we still try to take the weights and do some exercises. Why? Because somehow by doing all that, we become a little more stronger. Okay. That is how we do it. Remember, I said in the beginning, Prabhupada has written that nicely. She's got a very thankless job. Here it says, but still accepts a thankless job of keeping the forgotten souls under illusion by bewildered influence, right? So, which means illusion. So I really like the way Prabhupada has written this. She does not accept this job, okay, but she does not like, but she still has to do the job, okay. Even there is a wonderful reference given by Prabhupada. The king puts a disobedient citizen within the walls of the jail, but sometimes the king, desiring the prisoner's relief, personally goes there. So the king punishes, right, gives a punishment, but now and then he keeps going there personally, right, to see whether to plead for reformation, right? After doing so, sometimes the prisoners are set free. We all know that mercy petition. And it's the judges who are directly under the president. But when mercy goes to him, he sometimes gives them the mercy and releases them from their, hanging or something like that, right? So the same way, Supreme Lord is also, Krishna puts us in all troubles, punishment, and then he comes down. Why he comes down and performs all these wonderful leelas? And why? Just to reclaim our souls, right? So I was telling you the first aspect is that we'll find out how Jiva gets entangled. We will see how it eludes us. It eludes because this is, first of all, I told you Jiva is fully covered. So it's got all the impressions, the vasanas of the previous one. It's got a false identity, like I'm in the man's body. So all the impressions are given to me, relevant to me, okay, which is kind of filtered. So then we have this raga dvesha, that is we experience all those conducive things and we reject, which all the disgusting experiences we kind of reject, and we develop this, we get absorbed in this. We get so absorbed. It's like the best example given is nowadays we have this games, right? Some that artificially wearing something and he is thinking that he's playing that game. I mean, sometimes if you really go and see children who are playing games, you cannot even bring them back to normalcy. You have to shake them up. They're so absorbed in the game, and they'll be like, it requires somebody to switch off an electricity, I think. Then only they'll remove and they'll come back to reality. Like that, we are the energy of Maya, external energy, can keep the jiva in delusion. Obviously, the third aspect is only how can we come out? Or, I mean, it's a mild reference here because the solutions are in the next verse. But from Bhagavad Gita, we know that only way option out is to practice Bhakti Yoga. In fact, it's told we should have a healthy fear of Maya. Srila Prabhupada used to say, you are not sufficiently afraid, or something like that he uses. You're not sufficiently afraid of Maya. Okay, we should be upright so that Maya inspires us to work towards Krishna, okay, towards worshipping, towards engaging in Bhakti Yoga, towards engaging in devotional service, right? And how do we do that? Only by, how do we get that mercy? Only by serving saintly persons, because through their mercy we get the seed of Bhakti, okay? So Srimad Bhagavatam gives us a complete understanding how to surrender. We keep saying, why read? I mean, so much references given to Srimad Bhagavatam, the Amala Purana, because Srila Prabhupada has consulted big acharyas, so many purports, so many senior acharyas coming in the line of disciplic succession. It's taken their bhashyam, taken their purports, and then written all this. So much, just this itself is so enjoyable while I was reading. We feel that so much more time is share all the points. So once we reach Srimad Bhagavatam, there is nothing more in the material world. I mean, we need not take any other, no more material world, no more material bodies. It is completely, safe. Moment you read this, you understand everything. No more scriptures need to be read, right? So please, this again I say, when you're talking of Maya grip will increase as soon as we are losing Krishna consciousness, right? The moment we intensify the spiritual practices, our grip will be loosened. We have many examples, right? We say when we go into the master's house, there is this huge dog which comes chasing. The moment the master recognizes that, very nicely it starts wagging the tail, and it accompanies you all the way right up to master's house. So there are many points, like I said, the Saman Bhaman remedy for suffering in humanity, the clutches still Vyasdev, so diagnoses this, gives us the solution, and very clearly points out that the Lord is the controller of this, right? So, and we both are under that control. So these are the few points which I could in the short time share with you all. It's already 6:40. I would request the others to share any points or have any clarifications or add anything. Also like to correct me if I've made any mistakes. Matrapati Prabhu. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. Pranam.